So many of you are probably familiar with this jacket. I have worn it in a lot of videos, and to date it remains one of my favorite projects to have ever worked on. In fact, I enjoyed it so much that I have decided to make an entire series out of customizing granny hexagon cardigans. I've made these so far, and you better believe there's more in the works. The first one to get the customization treatment is going to be this fella here. Hello. If you watched the Crolympic Games, you might recognize it, and if you didn't, I'll put a link for that down in the description if you're interested. But before I can actually get to the customization stage, I will need to finish this off. I'm going to have to add some length to the sleeves and a bit of length to the waist as well. And slip stitch to finish. And that is both sleeves finally finished. This has taken way longer than I wanted it to. But now I can start adding length to the torso section. Ow. The torso section here. And done. I have added, oh hang on, I got tangled in my own yarn here. I have added the length I needed to both the sleeves and to the torso section here. So we are good to go. The next stage in my plan was going to be to add mesh paneling or mesh stitches to the bottom here to give it more length, but also to give it some movement when I add the decorative pieces later. However, I've decided to add in a step before that. I'm going to crochet the ribbing now instead. As of a couple of days ago, all of the boring bits of my granny hexagon cardigan are out of the way, and we can proceed to the customizing. So here is my granny hexagon top. I'm a little bit tangled, which is the right way up. Bloody hell. Ta-da! I'm going to let you guys in on my master customization plan, and that will be to make a sort of flowing robe-like section down the bottom, constructed of mesh stitches and butterflies. This here is where I finished off. Let me make sure you guys can actually see. I know black's probably the worst color to be using here. So what I want my squares to be are 3x3s. I've ensured that my ribbing is 8 stitches wide, so that way I can have my squares be 3 stitches or 3 chains across, but then on the 4th chain I'm going to double crochet. So to start, I'm going to need to chain myself 6, so we're going to have 3 stitches that will be on the side or make up the side of my square, and then 1, 2, 3 that will make up the top. And then I need to turn my work, which is a bit difficult when your work's as big as this. But then I'm going to skip the first 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then double crochet into 4. Oh, a bit too far out there. Double crochet into 4. So there is my first square. So now that I've done my first one, I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3 chains. Skip the next 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I will double crochet into the 4th stitch. So the first 2 squares have gotten me across my ribbing. But for the remainder of my cardi, with the exception of the ribbing on the opposite side, I'm going to chain 3 across my double crochet clusters, and I'm going to double crochet into the gaps in between. So that's going to give me my 3 chains, and then my 4th goes in the middle there. And I'm hoping that will work out all right. I'm not too concerned with the stitch count and that, because this is going to be covered. I'm going to just put a shitload of butterflies all over this. So even if I do bugger it up a little bit, no one's going to see it anyway. I mean, that doesn't mean I want to make the mistake. I want to bugger it up. But if I do, it's not the worst thing in the world. So we're going to skip that. I'm going to go in there with my double crochet. Then we're going to chain 3, 2 and 3, double crochet, 1, 2, 3, double crochet, and just like that, I'm going to make my way all along the bottom here. And then we're back to the ribbing. I think the first stitch is that one. Bloody black yarn. It's usually not too bad under the lines. Then 1, 2, 3, and we're going to skip 1, 2, 3. And then the final 1, 2, and 3. And I will double crochet into the last stitch. Whew. And done. A row of that goes so much faster than the granny stitch. And there we go. Let me line this up, I can show you. So there is the mesh stitches all the way along. And I'm just going to continue that back and forth until I put the cardigan on and I'm like, yep, that's a good length. I like that. So to begin my second row, I will have to chain 6 again. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do the big cumbersome turn. And for this row and all the rows thereafter, I'm going to put a double crochet in every previous double crochet that I made. So 1 in that one. Then I'll chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. 1 in that one. And so on and so forth. Finally, after months of work, I have finished my granny hexagon cardi. Ooh. And in doing so, I have laid the foundation for the customization that I want to do, which will be adding a ton of butterflies to the bottom, I'd say 1/3 to or maybe half of this. But the dilemma I face is I don't have a butterfly pattern to use. During the Crochet Olympics, I did crochet these here, these butterflies, which I had full intentions to use in this project as well. However, upon reviewing them, I've determined that they're just too bulky. If I put one of these on, you know what? Second camera time. As I said, I'm concerned that they're too bulky, but also I think having the black final round is just too much black. And like I was trying to demonstrate before, if I add all of these on, that's just going, you can't see that. You can't see that. Keep it in frame, Lee. They're just going to be way too bulky. I really need something that is smaller and flatter, I think. Which means I'm going to stick these guys aside and do something with them at some point in the future. No idea what that will be, but we'll figure it out. They can just sit in the scrap bin for a while. But now I need to design my own butterfly pattern. That's looking pretty good. I think that looks pretty good. Now comes the hard part where I need to crochet probably hundreds of these. That may even take me longer than the cardigan itself. I will bring you guys back periodically over the next couple of months probably as we crochet bloody butterflies. So I have been crocheting bloody butterflies for like 6 months at this point. And I think it's about time I checked how many I've got and how many more I'm going to need. I feel like I've been crocheting these butterflies forever, but looking at the bag now, there really doesn't seem to be all that much. I'm a little bit concerned. I'm a little bit concerned that I'm going to be well under the required number of butterflies. Yes, I'm laying down now. It's going to make things so much easier. Slight change of plans for at least these bottom ones. I'm going to sew as I go. It's just going to save me a little bit of time. It means I'm not like double handling things because I know black is going to be the bottom layer of butterflies anyway. It doesn't really matter if I don't have enough at this stage because I can just crochet more and add them on top. I have crocheted an additional 50 black butterflies, but I'm at the point where I need to break up the butterfly monotony a little bit. So I am going to proceed with sewing these ones to my granny hexagon Cardi here. Not only will that break up the monotony a bit, but it'll also give me a good indication of whether or not roughly 100 butterflies per colour is going to be enough. Oh, I bloody hope so. I don't want to crochet even more butterflies. But the only way I'm actually going to know that for sure is after I attach these things. Please be enough. Please be enough. So I finally have all of my black butterflies sewn on. That was just over 100, and I've managed to get 2 full lines, and then on the 3rd line I've just sort of placed them at random intervals. That way I'm hoping to create a nice gradient effect when I begin adding the next colour, which is the darker grey. Speaking of which, I now need to crochet myself an extra 50 or so of the darker grey butterflies, and this is just going to be the play from now on. I'm going to crochet the next colour in the gradient. I'm going to sew that colour on, rinse and repeat for several times. Why do I do these things to myself? Probably because I like the project at the end. It's just getting to that stage sometimes can be a bit of an effort, especially when you're just doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Good news, everyone. We are here. We have finally made it. The final colour. I just need to crochet between about, I'd say, 50 and 100 more butterflies, and then I'm done. And I am never going to crochet a butterfly again. I mean, that might be a little bit hyperbolic, but it's going to be at least minimum 5 years before I want to crochet a butterfly again. Yeah, this has been a journey, but that journey is almost over. I've just got to get these crocheted, sewn down, and then my cardigan will be finished. Bloody finally. One butterfly to go. Come on, come on. Apparently I got so caught up in the euphoria of not having to crochet any more bloody butterflies that I forgot I needed to crochet ribbing for the cuffs. So we'll do that and then we'll really be finished. The butterfly torture is over. My Cardi is finally finished. I'm gonna level with you. I have no idea how many butterflies I ended up crocheting. I know it was a minimum of about 850 to 900. So there's honestly probably around maybe 1,000 butterflies on here. I don't know. I just stopped counting. I got so damn sick of butterflies. I just stopped keeping track. I got to the stage where I just like used up the yarn that I had and it made however many butterflies it made. But they are all crocheted now. They are all sewn on. And while I do have like a couple of critiques and criticisms that I'll get to in a moment, by and large, I'm just so pleased with how this looks. I love the ace colors down the bottom. I like how the gradient worked out. It really was worth all those months and months and months of work. Now for the criticisms that I have. This thing is so bloody heavy. Like I knew it would be. I kind of factored that in at the beginning, but I did underestimate just how heavy this turned out to be. If I ever recreated this, I would either make the butterflies with a different weight yarn, a lighter weight yarn, or I might make them out of fabric, felt, something that is a little bit lighter, because the weight in this is noticeable. Even, I'll put it on so I can give you a bit of a demonstration. But you can see if I move my stool and my butterflies don't tangle around my stool, but you might be able to see that the stitches, they gape a little bit because the weight just pulls this thing right down. It is wearable, which I'm happy about because I want to wear this thing. But yeah, the weight is definitely a factor in this. Other than the weight, the only other critique that I have is I should have blocked these butterflies either before attaching them or blocked them sort of row by row. So after I'd sewn on all the black butterflies, I should have blocked them at that point, sewn on the next color, which is a dark gray, block those, so on and so on, because the butterflies, they are curling, which really detracts from the overall look, I think. I did do a bit of a crochet no-no and ironed some of them. So I just got a bit of like cotton fabric. I put that in between the butterflies and my iron and just flattened them out. That did work. It has worked. But I didn't manage to finish because, like the rest of the project, that is going to be a huge job, especially if I don't want my butterflies to end up misshapen or the wings bent. I need to make sure each butterfly is flat before I iron it down. So yeah, I gave up after about an hour. I've got some of the butterflies flattened out and they do look a lot better. Like, let's be real, that looks a lot better than having the curled, I don't know, dead looking butterflies. But it's just going to take me a while to get through and I really wanted to finish this outro. I need to get this video up. I've been working on it way too long. So that's just going to have to be something that I do behind the scenes, off camera. Speaking of things that I'm going to do behind the scenes and off camera, I want to add pockets to this. I have seen, like on YouTube at one point, butterfly granny squares. So I intend to track one of those down, crochet a couple, and then just put them on the front, roughly here-ish. I don't really need huge pockets, but I think they would just add to the jacket a little bit. Plus, I hate clothing that doesn't have pockets in it. Why do so many clothing brands neglect pockets? Stop it. But aside from those couple of things that I mentioned, I really do like my first customized granny hexagon cardigan. Why was I going to trip over those words? But now that I've done that, I want to get all your opinions on which one you would like to see customized next. I have this one, the blue and purple pink mess. Then I have just a plain white one and a sort of dark foresty green one. Which one's next on the chopping block? I'm not too fussed about which one I go with next because I do have ideas on how to customize all of these, but I'd just be interested in hearing your opinions, and I'd just like to know which one you would like to see next. So just, I don't know, pop that down in the comments, you know, the usual. Where did my, there it goes. I dropped it. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to working on these. Hopefully they won't take anywhere near as long as the butterfly one did, but if I do go with the ideas that are like percolating in the back of my mind here, they shouldn't, because I don't need to crochet 1,000 of anything for any of them. I'm not sure I could handle that. But what I can handle is, I feel like the hookup segues are pretty terrible. But anyway, our featured creator on the hookup today is Wolvyn Creations. And she says, I'm a crochet designer and toddler mum. I've been crocheting for 8 years now and love making amigurumi and coming up with new designs. I think that is one of the best parts about making your own amigurumi. You can sort of just make what you want. You can say, I want a X, and then go ahead and make X. I can say from experience, it doesn't always 100% work out, but you always have the option of starting over again. So anyway, if you would like to check out any of the Wolvyn Creations links, they will all be down in the description, and so will a link to the hookup form if you would like to apply for yourself. Don't forget to let me know which granny hexagon cardigan you would like to see next. I might even put up a poll if I remember to do that. But thank you all very much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Like the video if you enjoyed it, share it if you think it's worth sharing, and I will see you in the next one.